All right, everyone. So today we're gonna do a all new cars and trucks suck rant. Okay, so and this isn't just me talking, and it's not just about one manufacturer. This is about all cars and trucks across the board from all manufacturers. Okay, and the reason why they suck is because I guess over the last decade, the changes that they make to these trucks from year to year is not to improve the truck. Okay, the changes that they make are pretty much mandated by government bureaucracy, right? You know, to basically meet either safety or emission standards, which is complete BS. Okay, complete BS. But all the changes that they make to cars and trucks are for that sole purpose. Okay, they're not making changes to make them better. And what ends up happening is the changes that they make from year to year are basically experimental. Okay, and over here I've got the 2022 Tacoma. Okay, it's now January 2023, so this is, I've only had this for about 2 months. I got this brand new. But I hear that the Tundra, the 2022 Tundra, or the 2023 Tundra, I hear it's a terrible truck. I hear there's all sorts of problems with that. And again, the reason is because the changes that they're making to it are purely experimental. The government gave them this mandate, and pretty much they had to implement it as quickly as possible. And basically, they're putting junk out there. And it's not like if you go from one manufacturer, you know, like here's a Toyota. It's not like if you go to a Ford or a Chevy or a Dodge or a Nissan, that they're all going through the same thing. They're all making these experimental changes that are being driven by government rather than by the market. Okay, so that's why all the cars and trucks out there are just complete garbage. And the lifespan of them, right? So you're paying up. First of all, they're a lot more expensive. Because I had bought a 2012 Tacoma, brand new. Okay, when I bought that, I had paid $20,000 for that. Now that was a two-door versus the four-door pickup I have here. So if I had bought the four-door, it would have cost me something like $25,000 back then. But we're talking $25,000 versus $40,000. This thing was like $40,000. And when I bought that 2012, I bought it with the expectation that it would go at least 10 years. Okay, and it did. It went 10 years, 230,000 miles. Okay, I did in that truck from 2012. And the reason why I got rid of it is because it sprung a leak somewhere, a coolant leak between the radiator and the engine. The part itself wasn't expensive, but you had to take the whole engine apart to get to it. It would have cost like $5,000. I didn't want to deal with that, so I sold it. I got $4,000 out of the truck, so that made a lot more sense to me. Rather than spend $5,000 on a truck with 230,000 miles on it, I received $4,000. And I did tell the buyer what was wrong with it. He was a mechanic, so for him it would not have cost him that much to repair it. As I was saying, when I bought that truck, I bought it with the expectation that I would get at least 10 years out of it. This truck over here, I'm buying it with the expectation that I'm only going to get 6 years out of it. Okay, 6 years, 150,000 miles. That's what I expect to get out of this truck because of all the electronic garbage that they put into it. So the way it works out is because because there's so much electronic garbage in this truck, I had no choice. I kind of had to get the extended warranty that would cover it for 6 years, 150,000 miles, because I know that if anything breaks in this truck, it's going to cost me like thousands and thousands of dollars to repair. So that's why they forced me, right, to get that extended warranty, so that if I do have a problem, it's covered under this extended warranty. And you know, you don't want the local shops doing anything other than brake work on new cars and trucks, because if they get involved with anything that involves electronics, they're gonna mess it up, right? You can't even, I mean, you can do an oil change on this, but you shouldn't do a transmission oil change, because it's a sealed system, and in order to properly change it, you have to interact again with the electronics. And if you don't do it correctly, you're gonna mess up the truck. So the truck pretty much has to go back to the dealer for everything except just a brake job and a tire change. Okay, everything else is more or less got to go back to the dealer. And what I usually do with the oil change is I'll bring it back to the dealer, because then they go through the whole truck, and if they tell me if anything else is coming up. So because the maintenance on this truck is so expensive, you know, basically, or I'm going to run it for the 6 years, 150,000 miles, and then I'm going to get rid of it, because I don't want to let the warranty run out, and then all of a sudden, let's say the transmission goes or something, and now I'm stuck with whatever, a $5,000-6,000 transmission job. You know, while the truck is still running, you know, as soon as the warranty is running out, I want to sell this and get another truck. Okay, so that's the position that the manufacturers have put me in, and the manufacturers are quite happy, because here's the thing: the manufacturers should be pushing back against the government, right? They should be saying, hey, you bureaucracies, you don't have the authority to make all these changes and force it down our throats. But the manufacturers, you know, instead of, you know, working together against the government, they're happily going along with it, because they're able to you know, basically they're able to flood the market with these expensive monstrosities, and there's no competition, right? You pretty much, if you're not going to buy an expensive overpriced truck from Toyota, you're going to get an expensive overpriced truck from either Chevy or Dodge or Ford or Nissan. I mean, they're all expensive overpriced trucks and cars, right? General Motors, they're all doing the same thing. They're all going along with the bureaucracies, because they're able to overcharge for these piles of junk that they're creating. Okay, so I'm kind of pissed off that they've really created this monopoly. I mean, ideally, I know that Toyota sells what they call the Toyota Helix, which is basically a stripped down version of the Tacoma that they have built and sell, but they don't sell it in the United States. They only sell it outside the United States, right? Because that's basically a stripped down truck that they can't sell in the United States because of the safety and emission standards. But that's a much better truck. Okay, so why is it that we Americans are second-class citizens, you know, to the world, basically, where all the good cars and trucks are being sold out of the United States, and we get stuck with these stupid trucks that are just filled with electronic garbage that's going to break. And part of the problem here is that people that don't know cars and trucks look at that electronic garbage and they say, oh, look at the fancy air conditioner, or look at this, you know, the fancy windows. My old truck, roll down windows, best thing, man. But half the population looks at that electronic garbage and they're like, oh, wow, this is really nice, instead of looking at it and saying, this is just expensive junk that's gonna break. Okay, so anyway, that's my rant for today. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.